Hi, I'm Dan Major for Life, the Basic Manual, and we've been talking about dealing with our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual status as part of the recovery process from addiction and chronic pain as co-occurring disorders. And in last segment, I started to speak specifically about working with our emotions as part of that process. And part of recovery from addiction and chronic pain, both individually and as co-occurring disorders, relates to bringing to bear mindfulness-related practices in the moment-to-moment unfolding of our lives. And a couple of segments ago, I spoke in terms of our mental status and working to become consciously aware of our thoughts and thought process. And that is a manifestation of mindfulness, insofar as mindfulness is really an exquisite overall philosophy and set of practices to be conscious of and present-centered with our experience, our internal and external experience, to pay attention to it with acceptance and without judgment. It really involves paying attention with intention to whatever experiences we're having right here and right now. So as it relates to working with our emotions, in whether we're talking about physical pain or emotional pain. And in the last segment, I talked about how because physical and emotional pain activate each other continuously, and because of the mind-body connection, it really doesn't matter if pain or discomfort start with our physical bodies or with our emotions. One is going to affect the other. But bringing mindfulness to bear as it relates to our emotions involves several levels. The first is to become consciously aware of how we're feeling. In this particular moment, I'm experiencing discomfort, pain in my low back, which is where my primary chronic pain condition resides. So I tune in to that pain, to that discomfort, and the irritability that I feel arising, and I simply notice it. I pay attention to it. I observe it. I allow it to be there rather than fighting against it. I hold it in place, not trying to get rid of it, not trying to avoid it. And then I visualize putting space around it and letting it go. And when I do that, when I remember to do that, because just because I know how to do something doesn't mean that because I have that knowledge, I remember that I have it in all of the moments that I need it. So when I remember that I know how to bring this process to bear and I actually do it, it's remarkable the consistency with which the volume of my pain experience, my emotional discomfort, as well as my physical pain diminishes, even if it's relatively slight. Every difference, no matter how small, is positive and important when it comes to recovery from chronic pain as well as addiction. And one of the things that happens is that all of our experience has structure. It has structure in terms of how we think about it, the feelings that we have in connection with it, where we are physically, the position that our bodies are in, who we're with, are we inside, are we outside, and so forth, and the nature of our connection to that which is outside of ourselves. If we change any aspect of the structure of our experience itself will change. And this happens almost automatically. So in our next segment, we'll talk more specifically about working with the physical aspects of our lives as it relates to recovery from addiction and chronic pain.